I didn't think very highly of myself. I compared myself to others in my life. I thought if I could just be like this person or like this person, I'd finally feel better about who I was. And I would also look in magazines, fashion magazines, and think, oh, if I bought that outfit, I'd finally feel better about myself. Oh, if I had her figure, I'd finally feel better about myself. And you guys, I realized after a long time, I was pursuing the ways of the world. I was fashioning myself after the world, trying my hardest to look like what I saw. And you guys, no matter what I tried, I still felt so empty. I still knew there was something wrong until I fell to my knees. And when I fell to my knees, I just began, it's kind of like one of those moments in my life where I grew up in the church. I was a pastor's kid. I had to know the right answers. I had to be saved since I was 4, But I wasn't really applying it to my life. I was kind of just, going through the motions, being religious, but not really applying it to my life. I was kind of living off my parents' faith, too, at the same time. And you guys, when I fell to my knees, I was in a place where I knew I needed help. And I knew no matter what I was trying, nothing was fulfilling me. And I just began crying out to the Lord. And I didn't know if He was listening, if He cared, whatever. I just was like, I'm going to give Him a try. I'm going to just begin pouring my heart out to Him. And I just began telling Him, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm struggling with. I'm struggling with eating disorders. I'm struggling with depression. Lord, I need You to come and heal me. And it was amazing because in that very moment that I thought He was going to turn away from me was for the first time in my life when I felt Him speak to my heart. And this is what He said. He said, Rebecca, I have made you in my image, and my image alone. You're not to be looking to the things of this world to define you. You're not to be looking to images of this world to find your worth, because I made you to be like me. And you guys, it kind of wrecked me in a good way in that moment. Because I realized in that moment, God had created me for a purpose, and I was destroying everything He created. And He began sharing with me how I was His temple, and I was destroying what He made me to be. And you guys, in that moment, it was like my eyes were opened to my pattern. My eyes were open to the sin that I had in my life. And in that moment, I knew God healed me of those eating disorders, but I knew my mind needed to be set free. Because that's where the battle really is, guys. The battle is really in our thoughts. It's how we think about ourselves, how we view ourselves. And I began studying a verse that God put on my heart and that my mom would pray over me since I was 16, and it was Isaiah 62. Verses 1 through 5, and it talks about how we view ourselves as forsaken, desolate, and broken, and how God desires to change our name. And our name is the way we view ourselves and what we call ourselves. And He desires to change our name to Hephzibah, which means mine delight is in her. And you guys, I didn't believe it at first. I thought, there's no way God's delight could be in me. Doesn't He see all the wrong in my life? But I began speaking that over my life, and every time those lies began going in my head, like, oh, you're not good enough. You'll never be good enough. I began quoting that verse over my life. And about 9 months of that persistence, 9 months of my family praying for me, I was healed of eating disorders, and I was healed of that depression because of God. Who got this? So guys, as we sing this next song, if anything I said resonated with you, if anything I said, you're like, oh, I have those thoughts. Oh, I do not feel good about myself. Oh, I hear that tormenting, but I think it's me. I think it's me that I hate myself. You guys, if you're hearing any of those things, or if I could just look like Susie, or if I could just look like her, you guys, we need to stop those things. That is not truth. That is the enemy trying to destroy who you are before you can even bloom into the woman of God you're supposed to be. So guys, as we sing this next song, you can release those things to the Lord. Just start talking with Him, saying, God, this is my struggle. This is what I'm struggling with. And I'll challenge you to,
you have to come up here.
If there is somebody that you look up to, a counselor, a mother, if you have a mother, that'd be awesome if you go to your mom and talk to her about these things, because she was a teenager once too, and she has struggled with the things that you're struggling with now. And with that open communication, you guys, you can find your healing. So guys, during this next song, don't let this moment pass you by. This is Mary. You can sing that with us.